Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to another edition of Rumble House Sports. Baby, I'm your host, Jay.
And this is Chris.
And this your boy, Red Man.
Now, staying on top of this wrestling war, MJF says that he respects Roman Reigns, but he is better than Roman Reigns on the mic and in the ring. Red McMahon, do you agree with MJF? I like this guy, by the way. He is very charismatic. I like this guy.
I mean, very charismatic, very controversial, and I mean, this is typically the during a, I guess, proverbial wrestling war. This is definitely the type of guy that you want on your front lines. I like you just can't go wrong with MJF. Now, with that being said, on the mic, I give it to him. There are very few people with better mic skills than MJF right now. Right now in the world of professional wrestling, very few people with better mic skills. With his delivery, with his tone, he's very believable. Obviously, especially in a day and age where we know that obviously everything is predetermined or scripted or choreographed, whichever terminology that you want to use.
Better not say fake or Jim Cornette gonna be around the corner.
I know, right? So it's not fake. It's predetermined. It's choreographed. So with that being said, you want somebody that can definitely come across as believable in what he says. And there's very few people that can do a better job than MJF when it comes to that. Now, as an actual in-ring performer, there's levels to this, right? And Roman Reigns is at a height right now that we haven't seen since John Cena. And unfortunately, MJF just isn't as good as he is and as important as he is to the AEW roster.
I like that word, important. He's not as important to the AEW roster as Roman Reigns is to the WWE roster. I like that.
I just think that, when it comes to that, as an in-ring performer, I do not think that he's better than Roman. And Roman Reigns definitely deserves props because he has actually added a lot of different things within or to his moveset. He actually wrestles.
He's been working in the offseason. He's been working in the
right,
gym.
Exactly. He actually wrestles from time to time, as we saw in his match against Daniel Bryan. I remember at one point in time, during the time where people weren't really quite on the Roman Reigns bandwagon, there were chants that used to come from the audience saying, you can't wrestle, and all that stuff. And so Roman definitely has become a much, much better in-ring performer and wrestler.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that MJF is definitely better on the mic. He's very engaging. I love the banter between him and the fans. It's like you said, just very believable. But yeah, when we go in the in-ring, I need to see more from MJF before we actually say that he's better than that. And as I stated, they both claim to be huge fans of each other. And MJF says, who knows? In the future, he may actually work for that company. But Chris, it's obvious, right? In ring, he's not better than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, no. Roman Reigns is on a different level, a whole different stratosphere in today's world of wrestling. Shouts out to MJF. Like you said, I share the same sentiments as it pertains to the mic skills and everything like that of that sort. But when we talk, and a lot of people can make an argument, a lot of people can say that they have better mic skills than Roman Reigns. However, I will say
that is a fact.
Right. However, I will say that since Roman Reigns has been doing this whole tribal chief and head of the table, Roman Reigns has actually been in his bag on the mic. And you can tell that he's been working and he's gotten a lot better.
That's Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman helps everybody.
Well, listen. I don't think he managed to help Brock Lesnar.
I didn't know that.
I don't think he managed to help Brock Lesnar that much as compared to.
I will say this about Brock. Brock is more comfortable on the mic since being with Paul Heyman. I will say that.
Brock is more comfortable with being on the mic, but I would even give better mic skills to Roman Reigns, definitely as a heel than Brock Lesnar. So yeah, but it's levels to this. It's not just about mic skills. It's about ring ability as well, overall entertainment value, and I think that it's easy to kind of go at somebody who's on top who doesn't have that great of a mic skills and say, well, hey, I'm better than you because my mic skills are better. A lot of people can say that within professional wrestling because a lot of people just have that energy about them. They just have that swag. Like you said, charismatic, and charisma and everything like that. They just got that vibe.
I didn't think that The Miz would last in WWE, but because he's so charismatic, because he has such great mic skills, and now he can wrestle. He couldn't at first, but now he can wrestle. His mic skills is actually what kept him in the WWE. To me, in the WWE. Now, you talked about being in a different stratosphere. I'm hearing noise that John Cena is considered the biggest mainstream star to come from wrestling. Basically, they are citing the reason behind this is the fact that more people know him from wrestling than they do The Rock. They know The Rock more for being a movie star. But that's actually kind of makes the point, don't it, Chris?
Right. Yeah. What are they talking about? Like, they just all they're doing is proving that Rock is the bigger mainstream star. If a lot of kids today and a lot of people today only know Rock from movies, that proves that Rock is more mainstream. All right, I don't understand what point they were trying to make.
Highest paid actor in Hollywood.
The highest paid actor in Hollywood. It's probably the biggest actor in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. He's the biggest man. Don't get me wrong. John Cena might be next outside of Rock to have the biggest mainstream success outside of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We could throw in people like Hulk Hogan, who was in the movies for a little bit, and Stone Cold, did a movie here and there. But, I would give John Cena even the edge above them. But when we talk about The Rock, a lot of these kids today probably don't even know that The Rock wrestled in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would think that they still do, honestly. I mean, that's how big The Rock.
That's probably a boost, but a lot of them seen him first in the movies and not on YouTube with WWE.
Right. No, I totally get that. Red McMahon. I mean, like he said, we got Hulk Hogan. We have Drax, Dave Bautista, and all the movies that he's been doing. So he's pretty big as well. John Cena just got the green light on having his own HBO series. But are you really rocking with this? No pun intended.
No,
and the great one is on your wall, so you gotta talk right.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'm definitely am not smelling what this dude is cooking. Whoever put this out. But no, I like y'all said. I mean, he definitely proved the point. The fact that The Rock is no longer really even known for being a wrestler anymore, and is now known to be. And I keep saying this to both of y'all. The Rock, of course, those who obviously has followed The Rock's career still refer to him as The Rock. But outside of that, The Rock has literally graduated from being called The Rock to Dwayne Johnson. Like I explained to y'all, if you watch all of his movies, the beginning credits or whatever the case may be, where they're showing all the different people in the movies, the actors, at one point in time when he first burst into the acting scene, the credits would say Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You don't see that anymore. It just says Dwayne Johnson. He has graduated from being The Rock. He's Dwayne Johnson now. So I think that, just further proves that definitely he's the bigger mainstream star than John Cena. If it wasn't for The Rock, I mean, one can make the argument that there wouldn't even be this avenue of acting you know what I'm saying, for John Cena and Batista to go
Outside
into, you know what I'm saying?
Outside, and then we got to think about Kane. The See No Evil movies were great, but
bro, I know you not. I know you didn't, bro.
Wait, but the thing is that this lets you know how big The Rock is, right? Everybody literally went and seen The Mummy, The Scorpion King, because of The Rock, and he had like 10 total minutes in that entire movie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy how that one particular, it probably wasn't even 10 minutes, it's probably only 5. It's just crazy that those 5 minutes created a whole spin-off for him.
Right.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
A fact. It did.
Like that,
and
we
watched that movie, The Scorpion King. We watched it.
Facts, and it was a really good movie. And then you have movies like Walking Tall, and the list goes on. Be Cool, and I'm just talking about.
Be Cool is probably one of his best movies.
I'm talking about in the earlier days,
around that time.
And what's interesting about that is that you would think that in the world of professional wrestling, obviously there's some type of acting, obviously, that is involved.
There is.
And so with that being said, you would think that these people would be perfect for Hollywood, but that's not always necessarily the case. Like, you see these people like Kane, who only got See No Evil. He hasn't done anything since
those
then.
movies were the only those movies that he got were movies produced by WWE.
Right, you know,
WWE.
Stone Cold, you know what I'm saying? Not really too many mainstream
The Expendables.
Right. I mean, and Stone Cold, if you actually Google Stone Cold movies, he actually has quite a bit of movies. But in terms
of reality TV show.
But in terms of movies that got that box office attraction, you know, Stone Cold wasn't looked at as a box office star, you know what I'm saying? And so, and then you look at, I don't know how many 12 rounds or, you know, whatever those movies are called, The Sniper,
12 rounds, that's what they call.
I mean, like you said, these are all in-house movies produced by WWE and I don't even know if WWE Studios is even still a thing or not.
Hey, Triple H did good in Blade.
But did he get
still,
another
that's
role?
only one movie.
Nah, I know.
What I'm saying is that professional wrestlers have not really been perceived as, you know, just really good actors to get those top prominent roles until The Rock came along. If it wasn't for The Rock doing well and exceeding far beyond expectations, I might add, in terms of being a lead actor or even a supporting actor, then John Cena wouldn't have even been in a position to be in Transformers or Suicide Squad.
But you gotta admit, those names of those movies are pretty big, and now he's a part of the the DC universe with Suicide Squad.
DC universe, and
you know
obviously he was a co-star to Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious. I mean, John Cena's acting career is skyrocketing.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's the deal. I don't want this to get lost. It's not just based off of acting. They said the biggest mainstream stars. So you have to think about the Nickelodeon, the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards that he's a part of, the Experian commercials. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that after, John Cena did all the hair stuff and whatever else he decided that he wanted to do on top of lost weight. Exactly. Got a even better frame. So we're talking about mainstream stars, but The Rock literally just rapped alongside Tech-9. Granted, John Cena's rapping is better. Yes. But The Rock just rapped alongside Tech-9. Like we said, all of these huge movies, I love the way that y'all put this in. If The Rock doesn't blow up the way he does John Cena really get this avenue? And a lot can be said if Hulk Hogan was not the megastar that he was. Let's be real. He was in a Rocky movie. Those Rocky movies were huge at the time that they released. So if Hulk Hogan didn't bust out the way that he did, does The Rock get that avenue? But we all know the most electrifying man in sports, he was bigger than wrestling. That's what meant. See, John Cena was never bigger than wrestling while he was wrestling. The Rock was bigger than wrestling while he was wrestling.
I don't know about that, bro.
John Cena was not bigger than wrestling while he was wrestling full time.
He has the most Make-A-Wish,
bro.
Make-A-Wish.
WWE works. I know what you're about to say, but WWE works close with all of that. Connor's Cure, like, you know what I'm saying? A Susie G. Coleman, like, they work hand in hand with it. That's like telling me Michael Jordan has the most Make-A-Wish things from NBA. Like, of course.
But no. But he's not saying that John Cena has the most Make-A-Wish from the WWE.
I know he's talking about. He's saying period, but what I'm
athletes.
Right,
athletes,
I get that.
period,
but what I'm saying
is he was beating out everybody.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, name another sport that puts the Make-A-Wish Foundation out there as much as WWE does.
Is it even up to WWE? No, it's the foundation.
But it's the partnership is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
But the kids ultimately have to choose who they want to see.
Exactly.
It ain't like the Make-A-Wish Foundation saying that you got to pick John Cena.
But they do choose what they can see. But see, I've heard of this. I've been close to someone that's been a part of this. They give you a kind of like a list of people that you can see or that they have available for you to see, right? And you choose up to 3, by the way, up to 3. So they could have easily said The Rock. Well, The Rock was too busy. John Cena can go. You see what I'm saying? So there are levels to this. But all in all, I think we all can agree. And like I said, while Dave Bautista's doing a really good job in acting, I love his Drax persona. I mean, he is killing that role. But all in all, The Rock is the biggest mainstream star. Rappers know, and I would even say Ric Flair is a pretty big mainstream star, at least in the rap community. But, you know, when we talk about The Rock, I mean, actors, rappers, your just run-of-the-mill, just casual people know and love The Rock. Everybody, whether you could or could not, tried to do the people's eyebrow.
I will say this.
You know,
but Jay, come on, bro.
What, bro?
Like, really?
Hey, I will give you that.
Come on,
I will give you that. That's been in a lot of
he
rap
created
bars. Yeah, he created a culture.
I will say this.
He did create a culture. I give you that.
I will say this. WWE definitely can take a lot of credit in knowing that they have been able to develop some of the biggest mainstream stars in our lifetime. I mean, I'm gonna list a couple of names out here to you: Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Ric Flair, and John Cena are probably. You can maybe make the case for Stone Cold, but I don't really know.
Well, I was going to say,
what I'm about to say, what I'm about to say is that definitely The Rock, Ric Flair, John Cena, and who else did I say? The Rock, Ric Flair,
Hulk Hogan,
and John Cena, and Hulk Hogan. Those 4 people, I would say, is the only 4 people that I can think of where you know them without even having to even ever have watched wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to have even call yourself a fan of wrestling to know or to at least have heard the names of Ric Flair, The Rock, John Cena, and Hulk Hogan. So that goes to show you just how big, bigger than wrestling that they did get at the within
you
their
think
careers.
about how many wrestlers have came from that promotion. And we can only name about 4. I will also put who was a larger than life and very big, did a lot of talk shows, and people wanted to see him take pictures with Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant was a very big, larger than wrestling figure for that time. So now I don't think he was mainstream. I think he might have gotten in a movie or so. But when we talk about just mainstream and recognizing, oh my God, that is so and so, not even pointing to wrestling, just that is so and so. Andre the Giant is that as well. That's been this edition of Rumble House Sports. I'm your host, Jay.
And this is Chris.
And that's your boy, Red Man.
And let's go!